Do any of you men have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea. Now, I'm fine if you disagree with abortion. I have no problem with that. My problem comes when you tell me what I need to do with my doctor and my family. How dare you? How dare you?
How dare Whoopi think that an innocent fetus wants to die?
How dare you? How dare you?
All right.
I don't understand. Who told that? It's Whoopi's confidence for me. It's our confidence for me. How dare you? How dare you? Who told you the fetus wants to die? Who told you the fetus wants to die? What is she saying exactly? It makes absolutely no sense. Oh my gosh. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's your girl VeraMoore, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today I'm going to be reacting to Insightful Report, and we have Candace Owens destroys Whoopi Goldberg, exposing her lies and hypocrisy on live TV The View. Without much ado, let's get straight into it.
Counterpoint to you, Whoopi Goldberg. Number two. Did you guys know back at home, by the way, that in 2017, Whoopi Goldberg received a GLAAD Media Award for executively producing a show called Strut? It was a transgendered modeling show. She won the award for speaking up for trans rights and against those trying to roll them back. Oopsies! This is why I love intersectionality. Here we are in the middle of a vicious culture war where a bunch of men playing dress up and trying to convince people that they are women and can give birth and they can chest feed. And here comes along Whoopi Goldberg, and she's so fired up about abortion that she accidentally tells the truth. Only women can give birth. Only women have a womb that is capable of carrying a child. They say, never get in the way of our enemies when they are making a mistake. They also say, even a broken clock is right twice a day. I say, thanks, Whoopi, for proving that even idiots are capable of understanding basic biology.
So Whoopi goes off on men, saying how they have no eggs and only a woman can carry a baby, but supports being called a cis woman by a man in female clothes with makeup on? I'd like to know Whoopi's definition of what a woman is.
And for the last counterpoint, which I believe is so important in terms of this abortion debate, we currently have a culture where men are routinely accused of not stepping up to the plate. In fact, just this week, it was announced that only 18% of households in America today feature a nuclear family unit, a married mother and a father raising children. Make no mistake, father absence is one of the biggest, if not the biggest epidemic that we face in this country today. But why are we expecting men to step up to the plate when we have women that are telling them that they don't have to? Why should men step up when the message that is ringing out loud and clear from mainstream culture and media is that beyond sex, men have no responsibility or say in the lives of their children? I mean, how on earth can someone logically explain how a baby is 100% the property of a woman as it grows inside of her? From the moment that the baby is born, it requires a 50-50 split. Can a man stand before a judge at a child support hearing and say, Your Honor, it was her body, and it was therefore her choice to have this child? The answer, of course, is no. Obviously not. That would be stupid. If a man is colloquially referred to as a deadbeat dad for taking no part or responsibility in a child's life as he or she grows up, then the same must also be true for a woman who wants no part or responsibility.
I mean, this is just insane. Whoopi is filled with so much hate and anger that she is so unbearable to watch. How dare she insult men? How dare Whoopi even judge anyone? Who is she to judge anybody? She's like, how dare you judge the fetus? Like, I'm still trying to. It is just crazy. Let's go on.
In a child's life as it grows inside of her. My body, my choice is a pervasive, deadbeat mom case.
I never thought of it that way, but it definitely makes sense.
Honestly, this isn't even about whether you're pro-choice or pro-life. I just do not like bad arguments. And the arguments that are coming from the left right now are absolutely bonkers. So let's start with absolutely bonkers, Joy Behar.
It's a very interesting schism that goes on here because on the one hand, sex sells everywhere. I mean, you can't see an aspirin commercial without somebody having sex. Mm-hmm. You cannot turn on any program, especially on streaming, where people are having this. There's soft porn everywhere now.
Right.
They encourage all of that. It sells everything. Sex sells. And yet when it comes to the reality of pregnancy, this particular group of people on the right in this country and these religious zealots do not understand the reality of what happens when you have sex.
I'm not sure if Joy quite understands that it's not necessarily the ones on the right that don't get it, and it's not necessarily the reality of what happens when you have sex, but more about the reality of not practicing safe sex and caring less about the outcome. I'm sorry, but abortions are not birth control.
I don't think she knows that it's not pronounced sex, but we'll pretend that there's an H somewhere in there. For counterpoint number one, I want to say, yes, Joy Behar, you are correct. Sex is everywhere. Our culture is sick.
Yeah.
As an argument, that's a diagnosis. We have an increasingly sick culture here in America. Religious zealots and or people on the right very much understand that reality. We understand that when a culture promulgates promiscuity, it leads to people engaging in unfulfilling, unprotected sex. Far from your assessment that we don't understand what happens when you have sex, we understand exactly what happens. Children are the
Exactly. You know, just today I was thinking of, these days sex is everywhere. Everywhere. Like she said. There are no morals. Everything is down the drain. Not only in America, even in Nigeria. No values, no morals. Sex is everywhere. Every movie you watch, there would always be this crazy scene. You know, and people don't see it as anything. And children is the repercussion of that. If you know you don't want to get pregnant, you don't want to have child, you don't want to, then practice safe sex. Or abstain. Don't even have sex. Abortion is not contraceptive. Abortion is you are killing human being. You are killing somebody. Abortion is murder. You are killing somebody. So you don't want to get pregnant. You don't want to have it. Then why are you having sex? Just stop the whole thing already. Just stop it. Must still practice safe sex. Come on. Gosh, let's go.
consequence. Life is the consequence. It would seem to me that it's the atheist zealots, the ones who have normalized sex-laden aspirin commercials, that don't quite understand what happens when you have unprotected sex. And then, when they find out, they go, whoops, well, good thing I learned in health class that I can just get an abortion to deal with it. Did you know, Joy, that before federally funded sex ed programs in school, which sprang up in the 1970s, and before Roe v. Wade in 1973, teenage pregnancy rates in this country were declining over a period of 12 years. Maybe what we on the right understand is that there is such a thing as sexually transmitted insanity, the normalization of non-committal sex, which is pervasive in our culture and in our schools, and it serves no one. Least of all the young women who wind up pregnant and are pressured to make a life-altering emotional decision that is packaged to them as the responsible thing to do.
I definitely agree with Candace, and I'm glad she called these witches out for their lies and hypocrisy.
This morning, you know who released a video where he claimed he was going to give his stance on abortion rights in America. 50 years I've had this right. And here you've snatched this right out of my hands. You've taken my right as a woman to make decisions about myself. You sort of feel that there is not actually a war on women, but there may be a war on what's inside of women. Is that accurate?
Yeah, the babies. I mean, we're killing babies all over the place. And, you know, we should be, I think people can probably understand. In my case, I spent my entire career trying to preserve life and give people quality of life, even operating on babies in the womb, operating all night long sometimes on premature babies. And I get to meet those people, you know, when they're adults and productive adults. There is no way you can convince me that they're not important, that they're just a mass of cells and that you can do anything.
I want to ask you this. Have you met with the women who have to make these horrendous decisions when they have to make them of whether or not they can bring a child into the world. I mean, we talk about bringing children into the world all the time, but periodically, some women feel, I just can't. And are you empathetic to them? Because we just...
Where was the I can't attitude before taking the risk of getting pregnant?
Oh my God.
Empathetic. Oh, good. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Very empathetic. And what I have said is that this is a job for us in the private sector. What we need to do is make sure that we provide adequate daycare centers for these mothers so that they can get their GED, their associate's degree, their
you're
bachelor's degree,
assuming
their
that these are
master's
mothers
degree.
who aren't educated. I mean, I'm talking about women who make
most
that.
of them.
I don't know that you can.
Let me
Whoopi has no argument. The things she says don't even make sense.
let me tell you.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you a fact. Let me tell you a fact. The fact is, a lot of those young girls who are having babies out of wedlock, when they have that
We're not
first
talking
baby,
about them, actually.
they stop their education. And that child is 4 times as likely to grow up in poverty. We as a society have an obligation to do what's necessary to stop that cycle from occurring.
So how important is birth control then to the Republican Party? They should be out there really applauding Planned Parenthood for supplying birth control, mammograms, and everything else. Why are they against Planned Parenthood?
Joy is so out of touch with reality. Planned Parenthood doesn't provide any of that. And it should really be named Cancel Parenthood because that's the service it provides. Or maybe it's called Planned Parenthood because if you didn't plan it, they'll make it go away. And it's just a play on words to make it sound like a nice place.
Are you against birth control too?
I don't speak for the Republican Party. I speak for me.
Okay, for yourself. Are you against birth control also?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right. And so I guess you believe in daycare centers and maternity leave and food stamps and all the things that go along with raising a kid if you don't have the money.
Whoopi goes on to argue that she isn't talking about women in poverty who want the choice to get an abortion, but at the same time, Joy jumps in and brings up daycare programs and food stamps referring to women in poverty. But let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Your support really helps the channel grow, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you.
Abortion is murder. There's no two way about it. And the fact that a little baby is made to pay for the mistakes that our parents did. She has no choice, and the baby have no choice about that. It's crazy. Why should the baby be the one to pay for with its life for your own mistake? You made a mistake, so you should deal with it. Why should the baby be the one to pay? The View should be cancelled. I would always say this, because they definitely have no view. How dare you murder a child? How dare you? Whoopi is definitely no match for Candace. Don't get pregnant in the first place. Why do you allow yourself to be pregnant when you know you're not ready for a child? Why don't you practice safe sex, or why don't you abstain? It's not a do or die affair. After all, you're an adult. I mean, this whole thing is just insane. What are your thoughts on this? What are your takes on this? Drop a comment down below. If you enjoy content like this, please do well to give it a huge thumbs up, and please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, join VeraCity. Hit the subscribe button below, turn on the post notification bell so that you can always be the first person to know whenever a new video drops. And that's, guys, I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.